Free at last! Free at last! Oh, God almighty, it's free at last. Welcome live to the DST show, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to talk about an array of topics, but the biggest and gigantic news we have around the NFL right now, even though we're around training camp, teams trying to gel in, everybody trying to fit in and see what they can get grooving together with all the free agent signings and trying to get prepared for the 2022-2023 NFL season. And it's almost here. We are just several months away from several weeks away from preseason football. And what a way to just close it off the map with just Baker Mayfield has finally left the Cleveland Browns, getting traded to the Carolina Panthers. My projected team was the Carolina Panthers over their misconstrued first-round pick. Obviously they are unreliant on Sam Darnold. Cam Newton obviously didn't get signed back over with the Carolina Panthers over the offseason. And what would be better than an all-pro quarterback that at least has shown a playoff appearance over the past 3 seasons, had the Panthers not did since Christian McCaffrey was hurt, and so was Baker Mayfield. And I feel like with this could be a more promising team. And with Baker in full health, Panthers could be a problem. Especially if you guys haven't paid attention to the acquisitions the Panthers have gotten and their receiving core. They're good backfield. I feel like the only thing holding them back is a good defensive line. But this is insanity. You can look up right now. Carolina Panthers traded Baker Mayfield for the 2024 fifth-round pick, and it could become the 4th pick based on playing time. So it's just dependent on the progression, I guess, of the performance of the quarterback. And this has been many things on the making. Like, many people thought that San Francisco was going to enlist a trade over the financial centerpiece of, Jimmy Garoppolo's contract and try to forefront that because they're both going over quarterback issues, especially thanks Garoppolo is also a suitable starting quarterback. So there would be a bit bang of their buck, or else they got to start, the Jacoby Brissett. So that's the only thing that I put over to the board there. So it's big for the money that's always been issued. This is documented by Fox Sports, by the way, by Jordan DeJana, that said money was an issue in the trade negotiations, as Mayfield was due to fully guarantee $18.85 in this final year of his rookie deal. From the NFL Network, the Browns will pay Mayfield $10 million over the 2022 season while being a Panther, and pay about $5 million. I don't know where that additional $15 million came from. Mayfield's reportedly agreed to take $3.5 million of pay cut. So that's just the graduated sum they took over taking that 5th-round pick. That's insanity. And just knowing how much of a financial stunt that does for the Panthers, and they don't even have to pay that much for the Browns' sake. Thanks, the Browns literally took a massive halt, and Mayfield was big over for the pay cut. So Mayfield wasn't even concerned about making a due money. He just wanted to get out of a toxic situation that he had since around the earlier part of the offseason. We were not even starting free agency yet, and there's already been issues over with Baker Mayfield and being like, he sucks. It's been on and off for, his, underwhelming performance he had around the 2021 season over his shoulder injury while still supporting his team. So depending if he comes to play over with a more, I think, supportive fan base, what looks to be a more promising supporting cast, even though on paper with Deshaun Watson there, the Browns would be a more bigger pick to take over a second best in the AFC North. But I don't know. Over the legal troubles Deshaun Watson had over the past year, and not even playing the whole season, I don't even know if he'll even compensate. Things he won't even be playing due if these charges are dropped. That's wild. So the Browns just put themselves from up to down in just a matter of moments. Well, a matter of months, depending if whatever happens to Deshaun Watson. But yeah, Baker Mayfield is now a Panther. Oh, and we're gonna look up what's going on also in the NBA off season. Of course, NHL off season has also begun for recent teams. And for Miami Heat news, by the way, the Thomas Bryant's now a Laker for a 1-year deal. But for Caleb Martin, being an essential role player, good on the hustle play, good spot up shooter. The twin brother of Kobe Martin from the Charlotte Hornets that also signed a major deal as a role player. We give him 3 years, $20 million for the Miami Heat, well deserved. Young man plays his heart out, hustles on D. Well done when it comes to selecting his own shot, and he can play make. He's not better than Gabe Vincent when it comes to driving up the paint with his awkward ass layups, but he's able to score whenever we need him. So I'm glad for Caleb Martin, well deserved money, and hopefully he does a lot to help this year. Can't tell you much of what's happening over in the wrestling news because there's nothing to talk about over in the wrestling news other than saying AEW is going to have another major deal with WWE. They always feel about like not selling their own product, but trying to just cooperate with other products, and they don't get over in the side of that. It's dumb to me. Like, that's not really promoting anybody in the slightest, especially when WWE is more established. Like they did with New Japan. I'm sure the show was nice, but you think like that got a lot of pay-per-view buys when so many of your actual stars were hurt, and so many of the New Japan guys are not really shown in the general fan base, other than AEW fans that already watch stuff like New Japan. Like, that makes no sense to me. There's still news what's going to happen over with I don't know what other legal trouble we have over to the NFL, but it's wild to know that Baker is finally a Panther. Over, Sam Darnold's underperformance, Cam Newton only showing up for like one game over like the 2021 season, like when he had like 2 rushing TDs and then fall short, like losing like what, 3 of his last 4 games. I think he only upsetted the Cardinals around that time. And he hasn't done that since like the NFC Championship in 2016. So just imagine like the stock of Cam Newton has really floundered since his MVP season. And sure, he still made over 2 playoff appearances over his time, but come on, really, Cam Newton? But that's just me. I'm just not a big fan of Cam Newton. Lamar Jackson, I feel like, is better. And I'm probably saying that because he's, a bit faster, a bit more quintessential whenever he shoots it short, and just has better chemistry with his receivers. Still getting rid of Hollywood Brown is going to be a detriment to how he can, give it out over the deep ball. Because obviously he's not going to drop off Hayden Hurst for over 35-yard bombs to the red zone. It makes no sense. And also, I've recently watched the last 2 episodes of The Boys lately. They're hour-long episodes. They go over a lot of plot. And I think I watched Herogasm, and it ended with Soldier Boy showing his identity after killing one of his teammates as a mind reader, and it ends up with him actually sharing that Homelander's their biological son. So what a cliffhanger to actually end out over to the episode. I suggest you guys to watch The Boys. It's on Amazon. So hopefully you guys actually have a fun time watching it because it's raunchy, cussing a lot of nudity, and gory. So you'll thank me later when you. I think you guys, a lot of people would rather watch the boys show than read the comics. I don't know if they're gonna have a grim ending like the boys. Obviously, they even like made Black Noir a completely different character than how he was in the comic book. A lot of character changes over most of the characters in the show, and how overarching it is, and how it can still keep my attention over an hour span. It just shows how much this show really has to garner a lot of attention. I've been suggested a lot because my coworkers always try to spoil the shit out of Stranger Things whenever I'm in the break room. I don't know. I don't. I'm not really a big on the '80s aesthetic. Possibly, possibly when the entire series is over, I'll give it a shot. But right now, not at this moment. I have no interest for it. There's plenty of other shows for me to watch. Come around I think on Saturday. No, I think Friday. The Thor: Love and Thunder film will be up. That's people have been saying is based on the God Slayer, but I can't really see the resemblance. And hopefully it's good because Ragnarok, of course, a lot of standards that are high coming from the third Thor movie that had a overarching plot, and this is obviously coming after Endgame, so a lot correlates if you watch those two films. Probably, I don't know if they're gonna bring up Dark World and the how the death of Loki and Thor has to correlate with this new threat. Hopefully, the plot is just not boring because they have Thor's ex-girlfriend somehow holding Mjolnir, and they're supposed to be fighting this guy that looks dangerous, but not really displays how strong he really is. But he looks like this guy. I guess he's supposed to be Gore from the comics. He looks like Quan Chi from Mortal Kombat, bro. Like I don't want to see that. But besides that, that's all I gotta say for tonight. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day. I obviously had an eventful 4th of July. Thankfully, none of the pyrotechnics hit my house. But that's all I gotta say. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of the week. I'm probably gonna upload again later today or tomorrow because I have a lot of free time in my hands for some of this week. Thankfully. Thanks for watching the DSC show.